anthropology at the University of Georgia, and her expressive session will be on the role of different knowledge types in water management in Ceará, Brazil.
And so, before I begin, I would like to recognize the River-Basin Center, the Latin American and Caribbean Studies Institute, and the Anthropology Department for funding my summer research. And I would also like to thank FUNCEME, especially Dr. Eduardo Martins and Sarah Kachok, who are here, for hosting me and for all of their support when I was away, and also my advisor, Dr. Dallin Nelson, who is not seeing this presentation yet. And to all the people with whom I worked and from whom I learned while I was in Brazil this summer. I guess can we close the door?
Yeah, sure.
In Ceará, Brazil, the transition from the rainy to the dry season ushers in a period of preparation and deliberation. It is the time to decide how water stored in the state's reservoirs will be distributed for human and animal consumption, irrigation, and industrial uses. In theory, these decisions are decentralized to the river basin level. However, the state plays an important role in the decision-making process, in part due to the scientific knowledge it helps create and distribute. Fortaleza, the capital of Ceará, must have water after all. In June and July, river basin committees choose among allocation scenarios provided by their executive secretary, the state water company COGERH. In addition to these scenarios, which are based off of computer simulations, COGERH collects and maintains technical information related to water use in the state, including dam operating conditions and user registries. While many of the state's reservoirs have critically low water levels, in part due to the drought from 2012 to 2017, special concern revolves around O Castellão, currently at 6.5% capacity. It is the reservoir that provides water to Fortaleza through an integrated system of dams and canals that connects the Jaguaribe Valley with the capital. The 5 Jaguaribe Valley sub-basin committees and the committee from the metropolitan area of Fortaleza work with the state to determine how water will flow from O Castellão through the Jaguaribe River and to the capital. In early June in Fortaleza, FUNCEME, the State Climate Center, gave the final report on rainfall during the rainy season. In addition, FUNCEME made clear its preocupação, its worry about a possible El Niño event the following year based on current climate patterns and models. In tandem, hydraulic experts from COGERH ran water release simulations to determine allocation scenarios that would avoid collapse and provide water to Fortaleza at least until 2020. Fortaleza must have water after all. The computer simulations were based off of conservative models that used 2016, the worst year for rainfall during the drought, to model precipitation while different flow rates and volumes were tested. Before 2018, COGERH presented its scenarios and other technical information directly to the River Basin Committees the day of the allocation meeting. This year, however, a newly formed work group comprised of 3 members from the 6 committees in the Jaguaribe Fortaleza system worked with COGERH to modify the scenarios to be presented. COGERH and the work group met twice in Fortaleza to debate the scenarios. Numbers were adjusted slightly to give more water to the Jaguaribe Valley, but stayed within the numbers dictated by the state. Fortaleza must have water after all. Fortaleza must have water after all. The day of the allocation meeting, new scenarios were proposed by committee members who are not part of the work group, but who wanted more water to stay in the Jaguaribe Valley and less water to go to the capital. No new water simulations were run to model these possible scenarios. In the end, the winning scenario is not the one proposed by COGERH and the work group, but rather the new scenario proposed the day of the allocation meeting. The amount of water to Fortaleza was decreased below the amount dictated by the state. As such, the decision was not automatically approved. The decision reflects an interbasin transfer which means that the State Water Resource Council has ultimate jurisdiction. It will be the one to decide whether or not the decision by the River Basin Committees is approved. While the co-creation and sharing of allocation scenarios before the plenary session has given River Basin Committees more access to this knowledge, the state continues to play dominant roles in the production and distribution of that information and in the decision-making processes that knowledge helps shape.